Hey love, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about styles, benefits, pros and cons about styling. And so while I style my client's hair, I'll just be going over a couple of tips when it comes to styling. For my client, I am doing pipe cleaner curls in her hair. So typically when I do pipe cleaner curls, I put the pipe cleaners in. Clients leave it in for a couple of days and then take it out to have maximum tight Shirley Temple looking curls. The more hair you put on the pipe cleaner, the bigger your curls will be. The less hair you put, the tighter your curls will be. When I do pipe cleaners, I typically put anywhere from 6 to 9 locks on the pipe cleaner. So depending on how many locks you have or how much hair you have will determine how many locks to put. When I'm doing Microlocs, Sisterlocs, you want to put anywhere from 6 to 9. But if you're doing traditional locks, usually I do 2 to 3, depending on the size of the lock. I've already shampooed the client's hair, retightened the client's hair. And I sprayed it with leave-in conditioner, oiled the scalp, and used the foam to set the hair. And that is all the products that I put. Now, because her hair is damp, you do not have to put foam if you don't want to. So that's optional. I do it because it's, creature of habit. Also, I like the foam helps smooth out. She has frizzy hair. The foam helps to smooth out the frizz. So if you want to use it for that option, you can. But is it necessary to for the curls to pop? Nope, not necessary. She has about, I want to say, anywhere from 500 to 600 locks. So we ended up using close to 75 pipe cleaners for her entire head. So that's pretty much what I do for pipe cleaners. And that's it. So when we talk about styles in general, I'm going to answer just a couple of questions that people have asked in the past. So when you're thinking about styles, some people want to know, should I style my hair? Is it best to style when wet or dry? Honestly, either one is fine. Um, if you're doing like a flat twist braided updo, it can certainly be dry. But if you're looking to create some type of curls, you definitely want it to be wet, whether you're or damp, whether you're doing two-strand twists, braids, doing some type of curl, putting it on rods, pipe cleaners, whatever it might be. You definitely want it to be somewhat damp, because when it is damp, it is more pliable and your curls will dry better and hold better. If it is dry, you will have a looser curl, and your curls won't last as long unless you're planning on leaving the pipe cleaners or the braids or two-strand twist in for several days. Then yes, of course your curls will hold. Now keep in mind, when you style your hair when it's wet or damp, because your hair when it's wet, it stretches up to 50% of its length, right? So because the hair stretches, you want to be mindful when styling the hair that when the hair dries, you're still battling shrinkage. So if your hair is stretching up to 50% and you go and style it and you add a lot of tension, when the hair is drying, it is shrinking back, it is pulling back. So because of that, if your style is already tight and then it goes to dry and it starts to pull back and shrink and try to revert back to its natural or normal length, then your style is going to feel tighter than it did when you were at the salon. So I'm constantly checking on my clients. Hey, is this too tight? I want to make sure that it's not a lot of tension, that it's loose, because if it feels tight, while they're in my chair, I guarantee you when they get home, it is going to be even tighter because it has had time to dry. So now it is getting tighter because it is shrinking. So you definitely want to take into account um, the as much the how tight you're doing the style or how you're doing the style, especially when it's wet. You want to take into account the shrinkage afterwards. So while we're talking about shrinkage, let's talk about tension. Be mindful when styling the hair. I know some styles you want it to look cute, you want it to look nice and secure, but do not sacrifice the integrity of your hair just for the aesthetics, because you want it to look good. I understand we all want to look good, we all want to look cute in our styles, right? But you don't want your hair thinning out. You don't want your locks thinning out over time because you're applying too much tension to your styles um, every time you style. And over time, you're going to see the consequences of doing really tight styles. So try to get your styles to look neat, but it doesn't have to be too tight where you can't blink, you can't sneeze, you can't smile. Any of that is too tight. Okay, so be mindful of that. um the next thing I want to talk about is products. People ask, do you always need products when it comes to styling? No, you don't always need products when it comes to styling, but you want to, if you do use products, you want to consider the type of products you're using. Is it something that is very, is it thick? Check the viscosity of the product. If it is too thick, you want to make sure that, okay, how long are you keeping this style in? Because this thick product is going to cake up on your locks. And are you going to be washing your hair anytime soon to get that product out? If not, it's going to settle into your lock. And if you're not shampooing often and you're adding products, thick, creamy products to your hair, it's going to be harder to come out later on. And that's how people end up with buildup and just sediments in their hair, making it difficult for it to remove. And then you got to do an AVC rinse and everything else. So definitely be mindful about the type of products you use on your hair. I like to use very lightweight products. As you can see, the products I used in her hair was just the leave-in, a light oil, which all those things I will list in the description of what I used in her hair, and a very light styling foam, nothing hardening. It's a soft styling foam. So stay away from those styling foams that makes your hair hard. So another thing is, some people will ask, is it best to style your hair before a retightening? Like, is it okay to style when you need a retightening, or is it okay to style when um, you have a fresh retightening? Whatever you choose, it's is fine. Once again, just be mindful of tension. If you just had a retightening and you go in style, that's extra tension on tension. So definitely be mindful of the amount of tension when you've had a fresh retightening. I know for myself, I do not like a fresh retighten. I mean, I do not like a style after a fresh retightening. I do not even want my head to be touched. But after a week or two, I feel more comfortable styling. And even then, that style is loose. I don't like to wear tight styles. Most of my styles are, roller set type styles, braid outs, twist outs, where it's not a lot of tension. And if I do any flat twists, all those things are fairly loose and not tight. And then the another thing you want to consider when styling is, if you have a lot of hair, like my client right here. She has a lot of hair and it's very long. So you want to make sure that be mindful of how you style your hair, because the weight of that hair, especially when you're doing updos, be mindful of the weight. That weight is going to pull at the base of your hair, and the farther away the strands of your locks are away from the ones that are on the outside or the outskirt, the perimeter, those take more of the heat because of the tension. They're farther away, so they have to travel a lot farther to get into this beautiful updo ponytail that you did, or this bun that you're doing. The locks in the middle are fine because it's closer to its destination, but the locks on the perimeter, they have to travel a lot farther, so it pulls more. And then keep in mind, when you're doing updos that stack on top of your head, when you shift your head to the side, it pulls. Be mindful of that. But that's pretty much all the tips I have for you when it comes to styling. Just use your best judgment. If it doesn't feel good, then it's not good. Take it out and do something else. Want to stick to things that are, nice and lightweight, and that's not going to cause too much, cause any harm to your locks in the long run. So don't get caught up in things being so cute that you end up thinning out your locks overall. So happy styling. If you have any questions, put it in the comments and I will get to you as soon as I can. So enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share, share, share. See you next time.